What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here. Welcome back to another build update showcase. And today we're taking a look at my charge blade builds. I have one build which is a physical or impact charge blade, and this is probably one of my most comfy builds. It's a build that I go to anytime I'm struggling with something, or I'm fighting an especially spicy tempered monster and get a cart, decide it's time to end the charade and murder it. And then I have an elemental build, which I really like just because the elemental explosions in this game are the best looking they've ever been. Now, before we jump into the build showcase, some general charge blade upkeep I want to talk about. I've had some people say that SAED isn't a viable playstyle anymore, and it absolutely is. It's just more block oriented. Off of any block, we can go into a super ranked elemental discharge, and this is actually like the ideal way to play it back in Rise and Sunbreak. We had an ability where we would guard and get our files, and then we could immediately follow it up with that for big damage. The other thing is getting up your Savage Axe. We have 4 ways to get up our Savage Axe. The easiest being out of any perfect guard. We just hit Y, but we can also do it out of a clash, out of a weak point, or out of a mount. Talking a little bit about Savage Axe rotation, and a lot of these things were covered in the previous guide, but a couple of them I might have glossed over. But when we are Savage Axing, we have 2 real options, either YBB or just looping the B button. Now with YBB, we're going to have more, it's going to be more raw damage because we're just training those attacks. We also have the ability to go forward with Y for the dash slam. We can also do a fade slash, giving us a little bit of lateral movement with it as well. And so this is really good if you're just trying to stay on top of the monster and you're trying to pump out damage that also does not use files. Now the B loop instead, this is just holding B over and over again. And the nice thing about this is once we get past Element Discharge 1, Amped Element Discharge, and then subsequently the Amped Element Discharge follow-up are both going to utilize files. And so if you're playing Elemental, that means a little bit of Elemental damage coming out. If you're playing Impact, that means some stun or KO that's coming out. And so if the monster is downed, I'd like to go for that. If the monster is running around or it's not quite downed yet, or it's getting, staggered but not going down, I'll go for the YBB combo. Some other stuff, in terms of overcharging your files, the way I overcharge them so fast is I have access to the load up decoration, which will allow you to go full files with yellow or full overcharged files with red. Until you get that decoration, it's a lot more work to get them overcharged, but in the long run it's going to be worth it because it'll be an extra like 25% damage when you dump out an SAED, so that's just something to keep in mind. And the last thing, anytime you are Savage Axing, hold the button down. I've seen people that struggle. If I hit B, it does that. If I hold B, it does that. Hold your buttons. If you're not getting multi-hits, hold the buttons. And keep in mind you need to have the axe buff to do that as well. So let's talk about the build. First up, for the physical build, we are working with an Ardian. We are working with Fulgar, Arc Vulcan, Arc Veld, Arc Vulcan, Arc Veld, Challenger Charm. Now, taking a look at the Ardian in particular, we're going to be going pretty much attack across the board with the exception of 1 sharpness. As for the decos, big fan of artillery, magazine, and iron wall for that singular point of guard, which when we have our shield buffed is the equivalent of like guard 3, at least that's how it worked in the older games. And then we go for guardian handicraft, giving us a little bit of sharpness and offensive guard. Now for the gear, we have a bit of flexibility here, but the gear loadout is pretty stacked. We got Wex 5, Agi 4, Counter-Strike 3, Divine Blessing 3, a singular point of burst, which is worth it over Agi 5, and then adaptability, self-improvement, self-absorb, haste and recovery, and decimator. So we have a lot of self-healing coming into the build. We have covered most of our damage points, and this is going to pump some serious damage. Now, if you don't run Counter-Strike, talking about Counter-Strike has some really nice potential here. The idea is, we get hit with something that we didn't manage to block. We just get a flat attack buff. It's a very nice attack buff. Now, if you're not getting hit, this isn't going to be worthwhile. But thankfully, we have 3 counter jewels and 3 level 2 slots. So there's a lot of flexibility here. You could go with maximum might. Just give yourself 30% affinity as long as you're not dodging too much. You could go with part breaker, shatter all the parts. You could go with evade extender, so you have better rolls in Savage Axe. You could go with earplugs and be immune to roars. There's going to be a lot of flexibility in terms of what you want in those level 2 slots. And regardless of what you pick there, we still have Wex 5, Agi 4, Burst 1, Divine Blessing, and a ton of healing coming in via Decimator and Haste and Recovery. And all in all, this is just a very, very comfortable build for Charge Blade. Like I said, anytime if I'm fighting like a double temper quest and I take a cart and I'm like, nope, not failing this quest, this is like my go-to, I will pull this out and get the job done type set. We have everything we want from damage. We got a fair amount of flexibility per the situation, And then we have a lot of self-healing coming in, really rounding out the package here. Now moving on to the elemental set. Now there's a couple different variants here. I mean, I've been going through the elemental sets with IG. You know, I did 3 pieces of archetype gear and then gore. With here, we had gore in the legs and gore in the helm. And this time around, we're doing gore for the waist and gore in the helm. So to be honest, like, just make a full set of Guardian Arkfeld beta, Arc Vulcan beta, and gore helm beta. And then that's going to cover what you would use in almost every elemental set. So very slight differences between these. It really just depends on like the elemental caps of the weapon. So with this particular one, talking about the gear first, obviously we're doing Ardian Elemental. We're running with Gore Helm Beta, Arc Vulcan, Arc Veld, Gore Coil, and then Arc Veld. Now, taking a look at the Ardian, similar to before, attack in production, and then full element with 1 sharpness and reinforcement. As for the decos, we're going to be going with Quick Switch Handicraft as opposed to Offensive Guard. Now, Offensive Guard is going to be a 15% buff. It's going to last longer compared to Quick Switches, which is 20%, but only for that swap attack. However, Quick Switch is going to buff our attack and our elemental attack on that swap attack, whereas Offensive Guard is buffing attack. It's not going to help element at all. So with that in mind, I like Quick Switch over Offensive Guard for element. Obviously, we're still running a Magazine Handicraft and then Dragon Iron Wall. Alternatively, you could go like Dragon Handicraft if you have that. But the point is, we're trying to squeeze in 2 points of Handicraft and get that 1 point of guard just to get that guard buff. Now, as for the other gear, we have Chain, Shockproof, Chain, Phoenix, Insane, Chain, Destroy, Adapt. And this is going to give us Burst 5, Wex 4, Antivirus 3, Con 2, Part Breaker 2, Coalescence 2, Evade Window, Elemental Absorb, Adaptability, Shock Absorber, Decimator, and Black Eclipse 1. Now, with all of this together, we do have a little bit of flex here. We have double Destroyer decos. You could swap these out for whatever. Once again, you could go Counter-Strike, you could go Evade Window, you could go Earplugs. Even with Earplugs level 2, that covers 85% of the roster. So you're just like, I don't care, you know, roars don't matter to me. You could get the Evasion, you could go with Mighty if you want more crit, but I've been messing around and I actually feel like Destroyer is allowing me to pump some like absolutely insane damage with Elemental, so I've been actually enjoying that quite a bit so far. But you know, these 2 slots are flex. Just go with whatever you're comfortable with. It's not going to really matter. I will say we don't need another Coalescence because going to the Guardian Arc Legs, we pick up that point of Elemental Absorb, and that's roughly going to give us the same benefit as having 3 Coalescence as opposed to, you know, so we can go 2 Coal Ellie Absorb, and we're still going to hit the Elemental cap as opposed to needing the 3 Coalescence. So it kind of frees up the 1 slot there. But that is going to be the Ellie build. Really, really fun. I had planned to... I wanted to fight a dragon, but I only have like 1 Rathalos up right now. And I mean, we did Rathalos not too long ago. Should I just fight it anyway? Screw it. Let's fight it anyway. We'll fight the... Well, I don't know. Let me look at the map. Let me see what's up. Because I like doing the arena. Let's see what's in the arena. Gravios, huh? Oh, man. Do we explode Gravios' face? I mean, we just did a Gravios hunt. Screw it, why not? He's getting patched soon. He's like slightly bugged at the moment. So Gravios has been very easy in this game, and I wasn't sure why he was so easy. And it turns out he has something going on right now where when you break his wounds and he takes a stagger, that effect doesn't go away. So you can continue to break his wounds, or you can basically continue to stagger him every time a wound break happens, which allows us to just like juggle him essentially, which is pretty messed up, but also incredibly funny because he's supposed to be this like, you know, monstrous, unstoppable monster that's like, you know, I live in volcanoes and shit, and then we're just like, what up, idiot? I'm gonna break your soul. I'll take a free Savage Axe, thank you, sir. Gravios really don't like water, so this is about to be insane. All we gotta do is break the belly. You wanna hit me with something? Come on. Oh, look at those elemental hit zones, dude. think I can even block that. I think that's unblockable. Thanks for the coalescence, I guess. I'm gonna get hit. I'm getting too greedy. Usually I Savage Axe versus him. This is actually the first time I'm doing an SAED fight against Gravios. Oh my goodness, it's a 611. That part. Bad choice. Okay, so that isn't unblockable. Oh, just barely out of range of it. Oh, he got me with the belly fire. I think he dies with this next one. Yeah, he does. Poor Gravy. I'm actually really interested to see how he changes once they like properly buff him up, and if he's, you know, because he won't be getting constantly staggered anymore. But the damage values that you were seeing, those are going to be the same. And that's what I'm talking about with like SAED, dude. Like I had those files, and given he's a great target to fight with water, but on average we were seeing like hold up, let me go back and look, make sure I'm not misspeaking here. Hold up, what is happening? We had, see, like the fattest discharge we got. I saw 430 on one. Let me see. I think this was a juicy one, I think. And that was close to the end of the fight. Where was the one? I hit one for like, goodness, it's a 6. Oh, here we go. Usually I Savage Axe fight against Gravios. So with one hit, there was a 611 that popped up, and there were a couple 271s at the same time. So like, dude, that's insane. We're looking at like 1500 damage from an SAED, an element. Like you can't see that and be like, yeah, SAED isn't viable. Like that is ridiculous. Pumping 1500 elemental damage into something's face. Like, bro, it's so good. It was a sub 3. Let's go to the comfy build though. We'll show off the comfy build. And I mean, blast impact Ardian is honestly just stupid. It's so good. So good. You get that up, and then you're just like looping Savage Axe, and things don't even get a chance to move.
Now commencing quest by order of the guild.
I whiffed. Big whiffs. Oh no, I got hit in the ass. Oh, nope. Can't block that. At least not without the unblockable deco. And now the party starts. See, like earplugs. If I had earplugs, I could have just gone through that roar. I wouldn't have cared. See, and this is why I like Counter-Strike, because I'm just trying to go like full send right here. I just want to keep pumping damage. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to stop. So if he hits me, I might as well get an attack buff out of it, right? Uh-oh. I know that was dumb. Wait, can I hit the Pure Wasp? Come on. Come on. Come on. Hit me now, fool, and I'll become stronger than you can possibly imagine. Oh wow, Elemental Absorb, which doesn't do anything, so I'm playing Blast. Typically you'd focus the head, but Gradius, you gotta get him in the belly. Just a quick little skull snipe there. Big nukes. It's very nice of you to put a wound right in front of me. Like, look at that healing, bro. Not once did I ever have to put away my switch axe. It was just like, nah. I will heal through everything. It does not matter. Please stop, sir. I love that. I love that so much. I mean, I was a fan of health regen on weapons back in Iceborne. The Nergi set bonus you could get back in World. Anything that allows me to heal for hurting, I'm like, yeah, sign me up. That's all I want. That makes me happy. But either way, that is going to wrap things up. So, in terms of what I'll do next, to be honest, I really wanted to just like cover the main weapons I've been playing the most. I might do an updated one for like great sword or long sword maybe, because I'm dabbling in those, but things are getting busy with other games that I need to start getting some time put into. So I don't know, maybe I'll have more of these. I mean, to be honest, with the builds we've showcased, you could honestly take most of these builds and just adapt them to almost any weapon, because things are more about, you know, your weapon specific stuff is in the weapon now versus the armor. So like the switch axe power build, you could put that on greatsword and just clap cheeks with it. But maybe I'll do longsword, since that's an adrenaline type setup. That's pretty unique. Either way, gonna close this one out here. Thanks for coming on by, and I'll catch y'all next time.